Paloma Falls didn't used to have much going for it. A research team studying infectious diseases made sure of that. They had set up camp back in the 80s and effectively killed the tourist industry, despite the nearby waterfall that might have drowned in summer visitors, and became the sole provider of supplies in the area. Year by year, they gained more control over Paloma Falls, until the town was effectively quarantined off from the rest of the world. It was a 9-step process to leave, and a 20-step process to come home. Most people didn't bother, though they held a grudge against the scientists. Until the zombie plague came. Brought to the mainland by an unknown sea transport from a small island in Greece. It had brought the world to its knees, until only Paloma Falls remained as the last town without a single case of infection. That meant it was all on us to try and figure out how to defeat the plague. At least, that's what I thought we were doing. I was a scientist at the infectious disease lab, and had been working in Paloma Falls for almost 8 years. Entrance to the labs had always been a process, but even more so now. After being checked for bites and getting my all clear, I was allowed to step into the white walls of the building and head towards my lab. It's a small room on the far side of the facility. My heels clacked against the white tiles. The area was silent. And, well, my work was boring. I spent the whole day behind a desk, cross-checking facts. Most people, they wouldn't want to hear about it. And it's not the point of this recording either. I did my job. I got caught up in my job. I ended up staying late. I don't know why they let me. Why security didn't come along and eject me from the room the way that they usually would. What I do know was this. It was 1:45 before I got my belongings together and got up to leave. I had never been in the labs that late before. Most of the lights had been turned off, which made it unsettling to walk through. I was almost to the main lobby when I heard a sound. It sounded like growling? My heart skipped a beat. It was growling. The unmistakable snarling of a zombie. Like I would have heard if I strayed too close to the red brick walls surrounding the city. Something had gotten into the facility. My first instinct had been to run, to just take off and leave. But I had a duty to the people of Paloma Falls and to the country. Our research facility could not have been entered. It would be the end to any chance that we had for a cure. So I steadied myself, and I went looking for the sound. It had been part of standard protocol once the infection hit in full to learn how to shoot and always keep a gun on you. I drew mine then, expecting to find a zombie roaming the halls. I was not prepared for the truth. And what was the truth? It was several guards, overseen by the head of the lab, Dr. Mendez, wrangling a zombie into the halls. The zombie had several nooses on long sticks around its neck. It was being pulled through the halls, towards a door that had been clearly marked as red clearance only. Mendez was the only one with red clearance. One of the guards grunted, "I don't see why we need to keep bringing these bastards in here." The zombie snapped his teeth, trying to get at the flesh near him. Dr. Mendez said, "Because the control nodes keep bursting blood vessels in their brains, we're never going to be able to figure out how to control them if we're unable to keep one alive enough to even be put near the test subjects." "Worst idea I've ever seen," grumbled a guard. Dr. Mendez said, "Then I suppose it's a good thing that you're not in charge of the country's defense. The zombie plague has spread, but that doesn't mean old tensions don't still exist. If the government wants a weapon that will hold up even in these trying times, well..." He trailed off, and they moved through the door, jabbing at the zombie with a long cattle prod and pulling at the nooses around its neck. I could only stand there just out of sight, my back pressed to the wall and a hand to my mouth as what he said sunk in. They lied to us. We aren't here looking for a cure for the zombie plague. We've been looking for a way to control the zombies and to turn them into the most deadly weapon that the world has ever seen. I don't know what to do with this knowledge, but I thought that if I could get this recording out into a greater broadcast, someone else might be able to help. Because if the government can control who's bitten, they control everyone out there, no matter their standing in life. Please, as soon as they realize that I know what happened, they'll kill me. I have no doubts about that. Someone else out there has to be able to make a difference. If nothing else, keep this knowledge circulating. Make sure that what they're doing is never forgotten. This is a power that can't be unleashed on anyone. And somehow, it must be stopped.